All right, today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to pull back the curtain on a real university course syllabus to see how they're getting the next generation ready for, the age of AI. So let's just dive right in. So this is the question, right? It's really at the heart of everything right now. And it's not just a question for students. It's for every single one of us. Technology is moving so fast, and the skills that got us here, well, they might not be what we need for tomorrow. So what is the new playbook? Okay, so the first step, at least according to this course, is just getting your head around the sheer scale of what's happening. I mean, this isn't just another tech trend. No way. This is a fundamental shift in how we do everything, how we work, how we learn, how we create. And that's really the whole idea here. The goal isn't to just sit back and watch this revolution happen. It's about developing the mindset, getting the skills to actually be a part of it, to be a leader, maybe even an architect of this new world. So how do you actually do that? Well, this course talks about building what they call an AI toolkit. Think of it like the absolute must-have skills you need to thrive. So let's kind of open up this toolkit and see what's inside. Okay, first up is something called prompt engineering. You could almost call it the new language of the digital world. But don't get thrown off by the word engineering, seriously. This isn't just about code or technical stuff. It's really a mix of art and science. It takes a bit of psychology, a lot of clarity, and, the creativity to ask the right question to get the best out of an AI. And this just shows you how it works in practice. It's a process, right? Something you can actually do over and over. You don't just fire off a question and hope for the best. No, you design the question. Then you refine the conversation back and forth. You're basically guiding the AI to get you that really valuable, detailed answer. And it's a skill, just like anything else, something you can learn and get really good at. But look, a great prompt is totally useless if you can't tell whether the answer is any good. That's why the toolkit has to be more than just prompting. You absolutely need critical thinking to push back on the AI's answers. You need data literacy to know where this stuff comes from, and you need to understand how these LLMs, these large language models, are actually built. It's all about knowing what they're great at, and, just as importantly, what they're terrible at. So that brings us to the fun part, the actual tools. I mean, theory is great, but to really build these skills, you gotta get your hands dirty, right? So what's actually in this AI arsenal? And here we go. We're talking about the big ones. ChatGPT, Gemini, but also specialized tools like Gamma and Notebook LM, and even a bunch of open source models. So this is not some abstract ivory tower course. Students are using the exact same stuff that professionals are using in boardrooms and labs right now. It's all about building that real-world fluency. This gets to a huge challenge in education today, right? Bridging that gap between knowing something and being able to actually do something with it. So how does this course make sure students can really apply what they're learning? Well, this chart pretty much says it all. Just look at that. A full 60% of the grade comes from a team project and a presentation. That puts a huge emphasis on working together and actually applying the knowledge, which, let's be honest, is exactly how things get done in the real world. It's all about building stuff, creating things, and solving problems as a team. Okay, so once you have that foundation, the skills, the tools, the hands-on experience, the course then kind of zooms out. It starts to tackle the really big questions, like what does all of this actually mean for our careers, for our society as a whole? And this right here lays out the core tension perfectly. On one side, you have this huge opportunity to learn skills for jobs that we can't even imagine yet. But on the other side, you've got this challenge. We have to adapt as AI starts taking over certain tasks, forcing us to figure out what our human role is going to be. It seems like this course is really trying to prep students for both sides of that coin. And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? A real education about AI can't just be about the tech. It has to go deeper. It has to ask those tough, messy human questions. What are the ethics here? How do we regulate this stuff? What kind of society are we actually building with these incredibly powerful tools? And that leaves us with the final huge question, not just for the students in this course, but for all of us, really. As these AI systems get better and better at thinking, our role has to change. It's gotta shift. And yeah, it's a question about skills for sure, but it's also a much deeper question about our purpose. What is it that we, as humans, uniquely bring to the table in a world that's more and more powered by AI?